way. So thank you for joining us today for When Industrial Data Meets AI. In this session, our Chief Revenue Officer, Joe, will share how AI can give both stakeholders and shareholders an edge in sales operations, from spotting new opportunities to making smarter decisions. So we're keeping it a very short and practical session today. And then we plan to host more of these kind of mini sessions so that we can all keep learning and growing together. So Joe, you can start right now.
Thanks, Laura.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much for all the participants joined today. I think the first thing I would like to show this picture is because it's shaped by one of our system integrating partners from Taiwan. And it means that why do engineers love beer? Because it's perfectly explain the power, and some you drink and some you form away. And that show that how our OT folks are very focused into every time we wake up data, we work data, we sleep data, and we drink also data. And it's also really specifically, address that, why you need data. So if without data, you can't know that, who will be, like what kind of like energy is usable, and what kind of energy can be wasted, and how do you actually reduce, and the unusable energy become usable. That's pretty important. Okay, so let's start today. I think today it's actually like what Laura mentioned that we're trying to do a lot of short session. We're speaking to the principal like Canary. We have a community from the Canary side, and then we also speaking to stakeholders, those people who are, really own the plants. And then we also speak to many system integrating partners. And from there, we try to understand it. I mean, now we talk about buzzword all the time, the AI. We would like to sell, the solution to our customer. But sometimes we have to also talk about what kind of like values that we're going to deliver to the stakeholders, and that is important. Whether they will be catching up, with the AI, or they're going to lag behind, like the previous session that we did with same guy. But today we talk about how is important Canary in doing the role of artificial intelligence. Okay, but together with the urgency that we need and how we can pitch the customers, and what can be, used in the future for them. Yeah. Okay, data foundation for AI. I think data is very important. No matter we talk about all the industrial context like predictive maintenance, so how we're going to predict, a particular production line, and what kind of, potential failure that can really damage and also impact your production. And we discuss about the process automation, the optimization. How do you actually make the process much more cost effective and efficient? And we talk about also anomaly detection in case of any sensors, that is placing from different environment can be very like a problematic. I mean, that give you an inaccurate data, and that can be also a situation. But all this, we're talking about we need the data foundation for AI. When where's the data come from that? How do you capture? How do you actually really collect? How do you actually ensure that, all this data will be, like high fidelity? And that's important. And to achieve that, we talk about data lake today, because it's a concept that talk about how every smart plant organization, you should have a data lake. From the structured data, from semi-structured, from unstructured, you need to have that data. So Canary Historian is not really is something that it can really replace, or achieve the entire data lake, but at least from the point of how do you store the raw data, and then how do you get all the time series data, and you'll be able to really feel, the data that used by the artificial intelligence. Okay. So many times, when we go out and sell, Canary Historian to the customers, I think we always face one of the very important things that, so it's just archiving, but why do we need it? And many times when we look into the entire, not a big plant, small to medium sized plant, they are even talking about, they can still use some SQL database or some 6 month data and 1 year database, to host data. And that is something that the urgency is not there. But for today, we talk about if you look into artificial intelligence, so you need all these things to be ready. And that is something that is going back to basis, how you need to start immediately instead of waiting and waiting. So that is one of the key, like the pitching point for the stakeholders to understand. So future-proof operation, if you need clean data, high resolution data, so start when? You got to start immediately to really store the data, and eventually it is going back into how the stakeholder will view themselves, whether you want it to be really visionary, to get yourself in place, to really moving yourself into Industrial 4.0 radius, or even 5.0 in the future. And that become one of the key things that the data lake is the concept that you need. And Canary did play a very important role in this particular segment. Yeah. So, but again, why we talk about like the tariff today, we all talk about now Trump's start, about the tariff, which can change the supply chain of the whole world. So no matter it is benefiting America or benefiting which country, but it's very something that very important that is a fact is changing. And what is the trigger point that it started? So again, when it started, then you can see how many countries have been imposed by some of the tariffs, and it can be even moving the entire economics from used to be super free trade to become a protectionism economy. So to protect each even country, self-interest. And ASEAN, especially ASEAN or Asia, we talk about cheap labor at the beginning, and today it is no longer the game plan. So I think I would say many factories, you have to transform yourself to become a smart manufacturing so that you can be data, driven, efficient. And that is why the urgency start from today. So let's not talk about, we just mentioned about artificial intelligence. You need a lot of data, clean data. Well, there have been a lot of questions asked before, whether can you start an AI, like algorithms to really learn and train them to become efficient. So if you have 6 months of data, 1 year of data, is it enough? So, but the point again, going back, if you don't start now, when you're going to start to really keep some data that to even improve and increase the efficiency of your artificial intelligence so that the prediction become much more accurate in the future. Okay. So we also discuss with talk to about a lot of stakeholders that say, so we're quite worried about how to lowering the cost because when the tariff increase, your product become not competitive. So if you want to be competitive, you need to really, look into the ways, how can you identify the ways that you can reduce the waste? How can you reduce the downtime? How can you really make sure that, the energy is peaks, how can you optimize your process from there? And that also require data. So if without data, you can't really move anything from there to really look at the bills that we just explained from the first picture before. You don't have data, you can't even know how to really reduce the waste energy. And that become important. So OT, the challenges are getting much more, important because when we look into the OT driven data, look at the sales revenue about all this kind of like software in the market, North America, you look into, Europe's, European countries, they are moving quite ahead in terms of adoption. But looking into ASEAN and Asia, there is a still huge gap that we can really bridge the gap. So, but if you want to do it fast, you can't really do back to the old ways. If you do not get something out of the box, you can't have something that you can have a good speed, good skill that can start really small. And then, of course, later I will share more of the ideas that even all these things are no longer classy investment that require that you need to buy a Lamborghini or Ferrari. You can even start to buy something very, very efficient. That invest even from very, affordable account levels. And again, so we don't know. One day there can be another future shift of tariff, that may come. Like I say, it's nothing right and wrong. It's more towards countries are changing, the treat are changing, and if you are not getting ready, then it become a very challenging position for all the businesses. So that is something that I believe the stakeholder is very much concerned. So for us, system integrator, or even when you try to deliver a value to the customer, that's something that is important point that they can be really considered, and why now you need a canary. So we talk about compliance, that has been also one of the key things that growing from North America. So compliance equal to process discipline and data reliability. So from CFR 21 Part 11 from the US, where we have been going through this few before. Today we're not going drive down to the technical part. It's more towards why you need that for the stakeholders. So when tariff become a challenge and you need to really grow yourself, so you need to get orders, manufacturing orders from Europe, from US. You need to even comply yourself with these regulations. It is something that you can't go away. So CFR 21 Part 11 is very much the FDA rules that is very enforced, but EU GMP, the good manufacturing practice, may not be that enforced, but also, and it becoming one of the key points, the Annex 11, if you can really comply, then with all this kind of trusted data integrity, secure, validated, audit ready data, how do you, with this, all this data can be doing some great risk management, in terms of that showing your capability of what in control of your plant. You can be transparent, you can be tamper-proof of data tariff, so data trails. And with all these things, you actually will help the stakeholders to do some growth enabler. So they can actually unlock into a new market, highly regulated, high value markets, especially when we talk about pharma, food, energy, and it can be also into some drugs, manufacturing or even petrochemicals. And with this, you can really create your own brand. You can really like the brand that trusted by regulators. You can really have this show to the customers and the potential investor. And again, that's something becoming that you can really pick up, improve your reputation and market access to really counter what is talking about today. There's no longer all the challenges due to the tariff change, and how do you, unlock yourself to a new market. So I think that is something that is we can discuss. It's quite important, and we can also share this some of this slide with you that you can pitch it to your stakeholders and your potential customer to improve the urgency and why they need a Canary data historian, from even today onwards. Okay, so AI can be very affordable. In fact, many times that we talk about AI, yeah, you get some AI people when they heard about these terms, that can be, do you need 100,000 of investment, 200,000 of investment, and what kind of skill set that required to drive this thing? And today I try to show this. Particular, like investment requires that you can equip yourself to even tell the stakeholder it's nothing more than even a car. You're talking about even a car investment that you can start it. Sorry, I think there's someone that I can admit into it, so that you can start it from a basic of a Canary system that can be just only about $9,970. Okay, then you can with another our partners that you can really engage yourself with the data. How do you feel and the AI engine, the AI gateway? So with the Canary Labs, we can start to feel a starter, from flow starter to enhance that, to give some KPI events, unlimited text, with the figure of only 9,390. Okay, then you can even talk about how do you impose a gateway to be, like 97995. The entire investment can be only 27,000, 28 grants of USD. You can start the whole thing with this kind of very affordable investment. And in many countries, like even Malaysia, I think ASEAN countries, Thailand, Singapore, in some other countries in Australia, you can get some support. And in Malaysia, as high as you got 50% support from the government if they invest into this industrial 4.0 related automation and with artificial intelligence. So just look at it, is how affordable it can be. So that's why I think today's session we very focused into giving an overview, about to even how to help the sales, to deliver the good point, pitching point to the stakeholders. You can start AI from very affordable level. You need to, if you want to start AI, you need to start now. It's no longer the urgency as to how to capture the data, because eventually everything will start from data. The data. When you have the raw data, you can do many things about it. I'm going to show you one of the videos. Next, that to see how cool, with for one of our, like the partners principal flow software, and with the Canary, the data, fill the flow starter, and with the gateway, and you can achieve that so simple and so easy. Yeah. Then we can start to really kickstart our game again and speak to a lot of stakeholder and how we can help them, to achieve this without lagging behind. Yeah. So I play this video, just one video. I will send the slides to all of you then to take a look at how we can equip ourselves further. And this is something that and you can see how cool is it.
I've been told there is an issue with downtime due to caps. Is this really worth my time? So the caps were a red herring. The real problem's upstream. Fix that, and we cut downtime without another dollar in packaging maintenance.
Hey, I'm Jim. I'm new here at Acme. Can you tell me what data we are collecting and what information we are calculating? Wow, that's a lot more detail than I expected. I think we should start by looking at where we're losing the most efficiency, maybe downtime patterns or scrap rates, so we can make an early impact.
Hey AI Gateway, it's Lauren. I've got 20 minutes to walk the floor and check on the operators and engineers. You know I love my people. How is morale? Who should I be talking to? Got it. Line 1 first. Lopez and the supply team need backup. Then I'll drop by line 2 and give them some encouragement for keeping things running so smoothly.
Plant data was everywhere, messy, disconnected.
With AI Gateway, it's all in one place, and I get the answer I need in seconds.
So I make better decisions that drive the bottom line.
Okay, that's it. Okay, so I think that is how easy that you can even start to even speak to the stakeholders. You can start something that's very small and very effective, and that's about my session today. Keep it short. Laura, over back to you.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Mhm.
So I just posted a small poll in the chat section. So just to let us see what's the situation right now. And then we can maybe help you with some more materials for marketing and all that.
Mm.
So does anybody have any questions? You can just start your mic or type it in the chat. For the video just now, yeah, Joe mentioned that the slides will be sent to everybody who registered today. So you can go through the contents and also check out the video. Oh, we do have a question in the chat section.
No, it doesn't come with it. That's why I mean we are working with flows together on that. That is how it goes. Okay. All right.
Joe, good morning.
Yep. Faisal.
Hey, Faisal here.
Yeah,
Faisal here.
Faisal. Yeah, Faisal.
So, because I saw just now Canary come with LLM, then I posted the question.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondering, since they have integrated with flows, and then
Mm-hmm.
how does in terms of the deployment, is it still go for cloud-based or
Oh,
cloud-based?
it's
Yeah.
perpetual. It's perpetual. Actually, it's on-prime.
Oh, is it on-prem?
Yeah,
So it means that
on-prime.
the very moment if let's say I purchase Canary, then it will come together. It is value-added services or it is bundled together with Canary?
No, it's actually the three components that you see is all come to as a perpetual software. Straight away when
Okay.
you install, when you can have the data, you can start work on that. So the
Mm,
extra dashboard, and all this kind
mm,
of stuff, is something
mm.
that you can charge to the end customers. What you service that you
Okay.
want to show them on that, no?
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Oh, it's quite
Understood.
interesting, it's very, very simple to achieve that. That is something that's why we talk about today. It's easy to
Mm-hmm.
start. And
Yeah.
amazingly, we have quite a lot of utilities companies in the past 6 months has been asking for this because sometimes they do want to have the intuitive ways to ask about the data.
Mm,
I mean, beside of I'm calling someone to come in, they just want to ask about something last week, what
mm.
will happen, and last 1 month, what happening. And that's easy, I mean, on
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I will
Understood.
send
Thank